Hello everyone, I am Kinjal Patel, Assistant Professor at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Computer Engineering. So here is the part 1 of chapter 3, Parsing Theory, lecture 15. In this lecture, we'll start CLR algorithm of LR parsing. So in CLR and in LALR, the third and fourth algorithm of LR parsing technique, LR1 item set is being constructed. So there are two types of item set, LR0 and LR1. So in CLR and LALR, LR1 item set is constructed. So the go-to and closure rules are same in LR0 and in LR1 item set. But in LR1 item set, we need to find the look ahead symbol for each production rule. Now, how to calculate look ahead symbol? So, here is the grammar rules that S dash derives S derives CC, C derives CC or D. So, first we'll apply the rule of closure. So, closure rule says that at the production S dash derives dot S in closure of I comma dollar. So, dollar is the look ahead symbol. Means in the production of starting symbol will place dollar as a look ahead symbol. Now the rule of closure says that if dot is present at the beginning of non-terminal symbol, then add the production of that non-terminal symbol. So we'll place the production of S derives dot CC in this set. Now we need to find the look ahead for this production rule. So for that, we'll apply the rules on the production rules from which this statement has been derived. So this statement has been derived because here dot is present at the beginning of S. So we'll apply the rule for look ahead symbol on S dash derives dot S comma dollar. So here S dash derives dot S comma dollar will be compared with the A derives alpha dot X beta comma A. Here X equals to S means due to which our new statement has been derived. Then beta means the term between S and comma. Here beta is null as there is no term between S and comma, and dollar equals to A means A equals to look ahead symbol. So beta means the term between S and comma. So there are three possibilities of beta. That beta can be null, beta can be terminal symbol, or beta can be non-terminal symbol. Means beta can be null or it can be more than one symbols. So to find the look ahead, we need to find the first of beta A. So beta can be more than one symbol or it can be null. So we need to find the first of beta, and A means the look ahead symbol. Now here as beta equals to null in this first statement, so first of beta A will be only dollar symbol. So first of dollar will be dollar symbol only. So as derives dot CC, look ahead symbol will be placed dollar. So look ahead for S derives dot CC will be dollar symbol. So if beta equals to null, then we can directly place the look ahead symbol of S dash in the look ahead of S. If beta is null, then we can place directly the look ahead of S dash in the look ahead of S. We need not to find the first of beta A if beta is null. We can directly place the look ahead of S dash into S. Now if beta is terminal symbol, then if beta is terminal symbol, then we'll place the first terminal symbol in the look ahead of S. And if beta is non-terminal symbol, then only we need to find the first of beta A. Okay, so for beta, if beta is null or terminal symbol, then we need not to find the first of beta A. We can directly place the look ahead symbol Now here in the second statement, dot is present at the beginning of non-terminal symbol. So the production of that non-terminal symbol will be added. So production of C derives dot CC and C derives dot T. Now we need to find the lookalike symbol for this production. So the lookalike of these two production will be same because this two production has been added because of this C. So we'll apply the rule of look ahead on this rule and we'll add the look ahead in these two statements directly. So here is the statement as derives dot cc comma dollar and we'll compare this statement with the rule a derives alpha dot x beta comma a. Now here beta is c. So to find the look ahead, we'll find the first of beta a means first of c dollar. So here first of c is terminal C and terminal D. So first of C is the C or D. So in the derivation C derives dot CC, C or D look ahead will be added, and in the next production C derives dot D, C or D look ahead will be added. So this is how we can find the look ahead symbol for each production rule. Now we'll see the example of CLR. Here is the example that S derives A derives A or B. So first we need to convert this grammar into augmented grammar by adding one production rule S dash derives S. So we'll consider this grammar to generate the LR1 item set. So here is the augmented grammar. Now we'll construct the item set. So first we'll apply the closure rule. So first rule will be S dash derives dot S comma dollar. Initially dollar look ahead will be added for the starting symbol. Now next S dot is present at the end of. Now dot is present at the beginning of S symbol. So the production of S will be added in this set. So S derives dot A will be added in this set. So here in first statement S, between S and comma there is no term, so beta is null. So directly dollar will be placed in the look ahead of S. Now in second statement, dot is present at the beginning of non-terminal A. So the production rules of A will be added in this set. So there are two production of A derives dot A and A derives dot B will be added in this set. Now here we have added look ahead A or B in this production. How that this two production has been derived from the production dot A, that here S dot is present at the beginning of A. That's why we have added these two productions. So we'll check for the term between this A and comma. As there is non-terminal A between A and comma, so we'll find the first of A and dollar. So first of A is A and B. So that's why we have added look ahead A or B in these two statements. Now we'll check for the closure rule in third statement. As dot is present at the beginning of terminal symbol, so no more rule will be added in this set. Here in fourth statement also dot is present at the beginning of terminal symbol, so no more rule will be added in this set. So this set is represented with item set I0. Now we'll apply goto rule on S dash derives dot S comma dollar. So goto rules are same as the LR0 as in LR0 item set. So here S dash derives dot S comma dollar. So we'll apply goto rule and our production will be S dash derives S dot comma dollar. S has been shifted, sorry, dot has been shifted from left hand side of S to right hand side of S. And here we have added dollar look ahead. We have just copied down the look ahead of S dash derives dot S. So while you apply goto rule, look ahead symbol will be copied down. Now this is our final state and we'll represent this state with I1. Now next we'll apply goto on S dash derives dot A comma dollar. So we'll apply the goto on A symbol next to the dot. So go to I0 comma A. So our next production will be S derives A dot A comma dollar. We have copied down the lookalike symbol of S derives dot A. Now S dot present at the beginning of A. So the production rule of A will be added. So when we apply closure rule, we need to apply the rule of look ahead, that we need to find the first of beta A. So here A derives dot A and A derives dot B. Now to find the look ahead of this A, we need to apply the rule of first of beta A in this first statement. That first of beta A means here between A and comma there is no term, so beta is null. So directly this look ahead will be copied down in the look ahead of A. That look ahead dollar will be placed in the look ahead of production of A. Okay. Now in second and third statement, there is dot present at the beginning of terminal symbol. So no more rule will be added in this set. So we'll represent this set with I2. Now we'll apply the go to rule on third statement, the symbol next to dot, which is terminal A. So we'll apply go to on I0 comma A. So our production will be A derives A dot A comma, sorry, A derives dot A comma A or B. Now we'll apply the closure rule because dot is present at the beginning of non-terminal symbol. So here we have added two rules of A derives dot A and A derives dot B. Now we have added look ahead A or B because in the first statement between A and comma there is no term. So if beta is null, then the look ahead of this A will be added in the look ahead of second and third statement. That A or B will be added in second and third statement. Now after applying the rules of closure and go to, we'll check for this set that this set match with any of the previous set or not. So if this set match with the previous set, then we'll represent this set as a repeated set. So as this rule does not match with the previous set value, so we'll represent this set with the I3 set. Now we'll apply the rule on fourth statement. So we'll apply the go to on the B. So go to I0 comma B. So our statement will be A derives B dot comma A or B. Okay. So here this set is the final set as dot is at the end of right hand side and we'll represent this set as I4 set. So we have applied go to on the I0 set. Now we'll check for the go to in I1 set. As dot is at the end of right hand side, so no go to rule will be applied in this set. So we'll check for the I2 set and we'll apply go to on the symbol next to dot. So here we'll apply go to on A. So go to I2 comma A will be S derives A dot comma dollar. As dot is at the end of right hand side, so no closure rule will be applied on this set. So here this set is final set and as the value of this set does not match with the previously generated set, so we'll represent this set as a new set I5. Now we'll apply go to rule on second statement on the symbol A, which is next to the dot. So go to I2 comma A will be A derives A dot A comma dollar. Okay, now here dot is present at the beginning of non-terminal A. So we'll add the production of A, that A derives dot A and A derives dot B. So here between A and comma there is no term, that means beta is null. So look ahead of first statement will be added in second statement and third statement. So dollar will be added in the newly created rules dollar dollar. Now in second and third statement dot is present at the beginning of terminal symbol, so no more rule will be added in this set. Now we'll check for this statement that does this rule or does this state match with the previously generated state or not? So here the rules of this set match with the production rule of I3 set. Here you can see that A derives A dot A derives dot A, and A derives dot B. All the rules of this new state are same as the I3 set, but the look ahead symbol are different. So we can say that part 1 is same but part 2 is different. So if part 1 and part 2 are different, we can't say that this is repeated state. So this is our new state. So we'll represent this set as I6 set, not I3, because here look ahead symbol are different. Okay, if part 1 and part 2 means production rule and look ahead symbol both are same, then only we'll represent this set as repeated set. Okay, now we'll apply go to rule on the fourth statement, the symbol next to dot which is B. So we'll apply go to I2 comma B. So our production will be A derives B dot comma dollar. So here as dot is at the end of right hand side, so this is our final set. Now we'll compare this value with the previously generated set. As part 1 match with the set I4 that A derives B dot. So part 1 is same as I4 but look ahead are different. So will not represent this set as a repeated set I4. Will represent this set as new set I7 because the look ahead are different in these both set. Now we'll apply go to rule on first statement of I3 as I2. As in I2, go to has been applied. So we'll check for the I3 set and we'll apply go to on the symbol next to dot which is capital A. So our next production will be A derives A dot A or B. So here this set is final set. So we'll represent this set as I8 because the value of this set does not match with the previously generated set. Now we'll apply the rule on second statement. The symbol go to I3 comma A. So our next production will be A derives A dot A or B. So here dot is present at the beginning of non-terminal A. So we'll add the production of A. Now here A derives dot A and A derives dot B has been added. So we have added look ahead A or B because in the first statement between A and comma there is no term, means beta is null. So the look ahead of first statement will be added in the second statement and in the third statement. So the look ahead of second and third statement is A or B. Now we'll compare this rule with the previously generated set as it match with the value of I3. So here you can see that part 1 and part 2 both are same as the I3 set. So we'll represent this set as I3. Okay, now we'll apply the rule on third statement. A derives dot B, A or B. So go to I3 comma B. So our next production will be A derives B dot A or B. Here dot is at the end of right hand side. So this set is final set. Now we'll compare this value with the previously generated set. So here you can see that it match with the value of I4, that part 1 which is production rule. A derives B dot which is same as I4, and part 2 which is look ahead A or B. So look ahead are same. So part 1 and part 2 both are same. So we'll represent this set as I4. Okay, so now go to has been applied on the set I3. Now we'll check for the I4 set as in I4 is final. As I4 is final set, so no more rule will be applied on I4. Now we'll check for the I5 set. So here in I5, dot is at the end of right hand side. So no more rule will be applied on I5 set. Now we'll check for the I6 set. So here we'll apply go to on A derives A dot A dollar. So our next production will be I6 on A derives A dot comma dollar. Now here this set is final set because dot is at the end of right hand side. Now we'll compare this value with the previously generated state. So as this value does not match with the previously generated state, so we'll represent this set with the newly generated state I9. Now we'll apply rule on second statement. The symbol next to dot is A. So we'll apply go to I6 comma A. So our production will be A derives A dot A comma dollar. Now as dot present at the beginning of non-terminal, so the non-terminal production will be added, that A derives dot A and A derives dot B. Now look ahead of this symbol is dollar because between A and comma there is no term, so beta is null. So the look ahead of A will be added in look ahead of second and third statement. So dollar has been added in second and third statement. Now we'll compare this value with the previously generated state. As this value match with the I6, that part 1 and part 2 both are same as I6. So we'll represent this set as I6 repeated state. Now we'll apply go to rule on the third statements. A derives dot B comma dollar. The symbol next to dot is B. So go to I6 comma B. So our production will be A derives B dot comma dollar. So as this state match with the value of I7, so we'll represent this set as I7. So we have applied go to rule on I6 set. Now we'll check for the I7 set. As there is dot at the end of right hand side, so this is final set. So no more go to rule will be applied in this set. And we'll check for the I8 set. As I8 set is final set, so no more rule will be applied on I8 set. So we'll check for the I9 set. So as I9 is also final set, so no more rule will be applied on I9 set. So we have constructed I0 to I9 LR1 item set for a given grammar. Now next step is to construct CLR parsing table, which we will learn in next lecture. Thank you.